Hi class, let's do the last portion. Now we already calculated that 90 was actually unusual because it was outside of the usual interval. And what we're going to do here on the last portion is basically do a second check, and this will be by calculating the z-score. So for this one, we would simply just say x is equal to 90, and then its z-score, it's going to be c is equal to x minus mu divided by sigma, which in this case, it's going to be 90 minus the 35.67 divided by the 24.12. And let me evaluate that and tell you what I'm getting. Okay, so for this one, I'm getting 2.25. Please evaluate that. 2.25, and technically 2.25 is outside of the usual interval for z-scores of 2, so we could simply just say that yes, yes, the score of 90 is unusual since the z-score for 90 is c equals to 2.25 and is outside of technically the interval of -2 to 2, and this is the usual z-score interval. And you just have to mention that, well, we're basically talking about the interval of -2 to 2 if we happen to be referring to z-scores. That's pretty much it. Your formulas are going to match if the data that you're looking at happens to be bell shape. Now, your formulas are not going to match for the data that happens to not be bell shape. So if you're in a situation that you consider the data to be bell shape, you're going to come up with a conclusion on unusual scores. And then if they were to consider that it's not bell shaped, then in that scenario, they have the suspicion that they probably don't know what it is. And in that case, that would be the most appropriate formula to use. So changing formulas for scenario number 2, you may be basically including values that you previously stated that they were unusual as now being unusual. So it kind of depends on the scenario. But for bell-shaped data, it's going to match the 2 standard deviations and then technically the z-score. That's actually it for this example.